Welcome aboard, it's Captain G with another update of HBG's Okinawa. This is part 2, the second half of turn 2. So the U.S. shore bombardment and airstrikes with a -1 due to the fog had various levels of effectiveness as far as hitting anything in these zones. They did try to soften up the defenses here, particularly the 4 strategic bombers. And I'll just bring you down, sorry for the motion. The 4 Army Air Corps strategic bombers helped clear a path that on the movement phase, they felt comfortable, the U.S. felt comfortable landing with a small force. This is the max that they could land with 2 LVTs. Or 2 Amtraks in this particular case, 2 Amtraks with 2 Army, 1 armor, and then a Marine and a flamethrower infantry on the other transport. They had to fight off the beach, so they were coming in at a -1. But between the bombing and the armor and some poor rolling from the defending Japanese, they were able to secure the island and secure the airfield. So that was successful for them. Here in the center, following the traditional path, the 6th and 1st Marines are heading north. The Army decided to pull back from here because they were just taking casualties from the Japanese artillery firing down from these mountain heights. So they pulled back here and tried to take this zone from the Japanese. The Japanese took some casualties, but there's still a bunker and an artillery there. But they should be able to clear that next time. And then they're bringing in off, remember, last time they could only land this time the units that had already been loaded and that survived the kamikaze attack. So they don't have as much sitting around here waiting, circling offshore, waiting to land. But they did land along the beaches and reinforce their air bases. They did land 2 CB units. So that in the reinforcement phase allowed them to roll, and I think it's a 6 or less, and they were very, they got both. And then because they got both on the reinforcement phase, they get 4 Marine Corps Corsairs. That air-to-air like a fighter, and air-to-ground like a tactical bomber. So these are very effective units now for the Marine Corps. And they get 4 the first time after they've captured the airfield and returned it to service. So that's where the U.S. ended up looking at airfields for future U.S. strategy. I'd love to get a force up here. This is lightly defended. But this beachhead provides that opportunity. No real Japanese resistance and no reinforcements coming in up here. So we'll see where these guys go, if they'll be able to reach it or if they're going to get stuck halfway and then be susceptible to kamikaze air attacks or Japanese kaiten. I know I'm saying it different every time because I have no idea how to say it. These kamikaze submarines. So we'll see how that goes. The other big thing that the U.S. tried to do was consolidate their fleets. They still have a maximum of 12 units, 12 ships per sea zone. They're trying to protect their damaged carriers. They don't want to lose any more air. Like this Hellcat fighter that's on this damaged escort carrier. The fighter can't take off because this is disabled. One more hit sinks it and they'll lose the fighter for victory point purposes. But if they get, say, damage on this one, then this fighter's not going to be able to take off. And Japan will retain the initiative. They've got almost, north of 150, almost 160 victory points in 2 turns. Not including the damage, the points off these damaged ships. And if they start sinking any of these, they'll be north of 200. They'll have the initiative for the entire rest of the game, which means their kamikazes 2 per zone, get to strike before any U.S. defenses. No AA, no air-to-air, and that's extremely costly. It really hurt the U.S. fleet. The fleet here did reconfigure, but they can't consolidate as much because they still have to protect these transports. They have to offer other targets for the attacking Japanese based on that kamikaze matrix that we talked about last turn. But just as a refresher, if the kamikaze, say, rolled an 8 and there were no destroyers, then you jump to 6. If there's no cruisers, you jump to 5. And if it's just transports by themselves, you're going to keep going until you get there. So they have to offer other cannon fodder, I guess, kamikaze targets from the fleet to protect those transports and get those Army and Marine Corps units ashore so they can secure the island. And dramatic importance, principal importance, is securing these airfields. They got to stop the flow. This is where Japan gets their kamikazes, 4 per turn. Plus, this is the new Pacific Command series rule. They get 2 fighters or 1 medium bomber. And this time, Japan had only 5 airfields because another one was captured, a third one was captured. So with those 5, they could get 10 fighters. They chose 8 fighters and 1 more bomber. These guys can target select when they attack the fleets. So they're trying to slowly build this bomber force while providing enough fighters to run interference in the dogfight air-to-air portion of the battle, which happens before these guys or as these guys attack. They want to preserve these. So lots of these 2 guys. Since there was a max of 12, I had 2 left over, so I put them here, but their intent is to wrap around, and maybe they can help defend if these guys come over, but we'll see. So that's the situation at the end of turn 2. The U.S. only has 99 victory points in 2 turns. Japan has 154, and that's not including, oh, actually, I forgot to count that 3rd air base. I'm just looking at the thing right now. So that pushes the U.S. over 100 victory points. So this guy goes on to the 100. He'll go to 0, and he'll go to 4. Look at that. So now it is, oh no, he'll go to 10. 114 in 2 turns. So again, probably some inflation that has to be tweaked on this point counter. But overall, still enjoying the game, the use of, if you love these units, particularly if you hand paint them in the Pacific Theater, or if you even detail paint them far beyond what I do, you like to use them. The Pacific Command series so far have given me new maps, new opportunities to use U.S. Navy, Army, Marine Corps units, Japanese submarines. On the Yamato, just before I forget, starting on turn 2, you roll each turn. They need a 2 or less, so they did not come in this time. So next time, turn 3, they'll roll again to be able to bring them in. So that's that's how that works. Okay. So start of next turn, it'll be next turn, turn 3. Japan has the initiative, so they'll do their kamikaze attacks on the fleet. Additionally, these 2 airfields, Kadena and Yantan, those were the 2 airfields that anytime after they're captured, the Actually, I think it's these guys. Yeah, with the airfield markers. Anytime, at any turn after they're captured, Japan can roll prior to the U.S. air turn and attack with 2 Marines and a medium bomber. And the intent there is if they roll a 6 or less, then it's a surprise attack, and the airfield's inherent AA does not get to shoot. If they roll higher than that, then the airfield at least is warned and they get a shoot. But the Marines attack, the bomber attacks, and potentially destroy some aircraft. The Army and Marines did leave them defended, but seeing what's still coming, knowing the U.S. is pulling back from this sea zone to avoid artillery fire, the Japanese realize that these numbers of units are just going to continue to increase as they stage in this area. So next turn's probably their best opportunity. They may have had a better opportunity attacking this time, but there was no aircraft. They want to kill aircraft because the U.S. does not get to replace them like the Japanese do once they're lost. Okay, so that will be the end of this summary. Next up is turn 3. Japan has the initiative. You know that they're going to get the surprise kamikaze attacks. You know that they're going to do those raids on those 2 airfields and possibly some kamikaze sub attacks. I gotta review that roll. I think they roll like 4 dice when they attack, and also possibly the Yamato showing up. So we'll see where they are. I'll let you know how it goes on the next video update. This is Captain G, over and out.